Is Path of Exile 2 dead or dying? Today, we will finally find the answer to this question that you have obviously been thinking about. And if you haven't been thinking about this, well, now I'm gonna force you, because remember, violence is the best solution to any situation in life. There is not a single thing the act of violence or the threat of violence does not solve at record breaking speeds. And today, that is Path of Exile 2. A lot of people, especially Diablo 4 only super low IQ fanboys, have been touting on the internet, oh, look at Path of Exile 2. It's not even retaining 10% of its player base. And true, admittedly, but 100% also expected. Not to mention, it's not like Diablo 4 is doing even remotely better. Oh, but this is just the Steam DB. The majority of players are playing on Battle.net. The longer time passes, honestly, the less I actually feel comfortable saying that the majority of X-player games are on Battle.net instead of Steam, by the way. And Diablo is one of those things. I think roughly probably more than 1/10 of all players are already on Steam for Diablo 4. Because no one likes Battle.net launcher. It's ridiculously shit, and it pushes so many ads constantly in your face. It is extremely annoying. But despite that, Path of Exile 2 is obviously not exactly in the best place possible if you don't know what these numbers represent. And I'm going to explain what they represent, because Path of Exile 2 is still in an extremely good position considering everything. First of all, you need to remember that this is just an alpha, a beta build, or whatever. The game is not out, and it's not going to be out for a year. It hasn't really gotten any meaningful content updates at all. Mainly just bug fixes. So, from the release date, from December 2024, up until now, how much time has passed? Well, effectively just 3 months. In 3 months' time, there have been no new added content releases, and this matters a lot, because this is a pretty good retention rate for something that has not had any new meaningful content releases, which soon, by the way, will happen. We're gonna get, I think, a new class and like 2 new ascendancies to play with, and that's when the people are gonna return. Because you need to remember, Path of Exile, Diablo 4, Last Epoch, yes, we're gonna also be talking about Last Epoch here, are all games that live and die by new content releases. On average, Path of Exile 1, the majority of players stayed for roughly a week, maybe 2 weeks, when a new content patch released, a new league, aka. In Diablo 4, well, a new piece of content releases, and typically most people leave by the second hour of playing it, because it's the same shit with a different coat of paint, honestly, for the most part. But yeah, that's how it goes. And for Last Epoch, well, Last Epoch is honestly a tremendously sad story. It had an amazing launch, but it was one of the worst launches ever. And not because the game was buggy. The game actually, I did not encounter any bugs. But Last Epoch's launch was one of the biggest disasters ever. And currently, Last Epoch is the game that's struggling the most and is the closest to death. But even this is not dying. And let me explain why. So, first of all, Last Epoch has 2 major problems. One, their initial launch was horrible. The servers could not handle even 200k players. This game could have potentially launched maybe with 500k players peak, if the servers could handle it. The Last Epoch hype was actually real, because it's a great game, honestly. I absolutely love it. If I had to choose between Last Epoch, Diablo 4, and Path of Exile, I am a Last Epoch stan. It is what it is. Look at this. First day release, effectively, not even 200k concurrent players. Then we get to the Sundays and Saturdays, and it's 264 concurrent players peak, and the server still can't handle it. Last Epoch was robbed from so many players, from so many new fans, just because the server capacity was not big enough. They also had some kind of bug that completely destroyed it, and it is insane. And, well, after that, there has not been any real content updates. And it is actually showing. For example, look at Last Epoch, where it started. It dropped in February, right? February, 1 month, 2 month, 3 months. You know, how many months is this? 5 months until a new content cadence has been dropped. That is too long. A content cadence for a game like Last Epoch, Diablo 4, or Path of Exile 2 needs to be those sweet 3, maybe 4 months if the content upgrade, the content drops are really good. Okay, and then it only dropped 1.1, and well, 71k of players came back, which is slightly less than I would have personally wanted, but it is not the worst, because Last Epoch is still sadly struggling from the biggest problem that I have ever described, and that is the fact that a lot of skills just don't look good. Last Epoch can claw its way back to being the second best game, easily in my opinion, if it just had better graphics. Some abilities just don't look fun. Some graphics just not bad looking. If you're playing a Necromancer, your first ability is Blood something, I don't remember what it is, and it's just literally a small spidget of blood going out of the opponent, which looks gay as fuck, okay? The second one is Bone something. That doesn't have an animation when it actually lands into opponent, it just disappears, which is fucking horrible. Yeah. No, actually, the first skill you have is summon skeletons, but that's not here or there. There are a lot of things in Last Epoch. Well, actually, they fixed most of them, like the way that you get your ascendancy, everything like that. That has been streamlined and made so good, honestly. Like, Last Epoch by far has the best player progression out of any game that we have here currently. But again, it's like a lot of skills just look so fucking bad when you use them at the start, especially at the start of the game. I would not be surprised if this is a Path of Exile 1 situation where literally 90% of people leave when they encounter Hillock and die to them. By the way, that's a real Path of Exile 1 statistic, which they are trying to get rid of in Path of Exile 2, obviously. But that's actually still the predominant thing what a Path of Exile 1 player does. They get the Hillock, and by the way, Hillock, the guy in front of the encampment, not Brutus, but Hillock. Yeah, that guy with zero mechanics. They get to that guy, die, and leave and quit the game. Well, Last Epoch is they log in, cast the first spell, and they're like, oh shit, this looks bad, and delete the game. That's what Last Epoch sadly is. And the second big content cadence, look at this. Okay, 1.1 dropped and was actually a big deal. Pretty good. But after that, look at this. August, September, October, November, December, January, February. And now, by the way, we just got a release date for the next big thing, the Weavers. And it's going to be on March 2nd. Looks great, honestly, but again, look at this. This is 7 months! 7 months of no updates! This is horrible! This is unperceivably horrible. And even Last Epoch is technically not dead. I don't know what's gonna be. This was, by the way, the mid-season reset of trading, I guess, or something like that. I wasn't there for it. I wonder how many people are gonna come back to Last Epoch after the Weaver, but I mean, the animation's still sucking major cock, and their content cadence literally being every never is really bad. And the game's still not dead. It's probably gonna release the Weaver, and we're gonna see at least 40k people come back. It's gonna be good. It's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be good. Okay, Last Epoch is not dead just yet. And Path of Exile, if Last Epoch is not dead, is obviously not even more deader. Diablo 4, the most dead game out there, is actually hilarious because you know what you get when you look at the Diablo 4 charts because how pitifully stupid they are? Let me show you this, okay? Look at this. So, you have the free week, right? It starts on Tuesday. Then obviously people play it on Saturday and Sunday. That's the big peak. Then it goes down because the free week ends, and guess what? Saturday and Sunday again have a way more players playing than previously. And then again, and this keeps happening constantly through Diablo 4's life cycle. Diablo 4 is unironically, literally, the meme about the guy who is working 3 jobs, has 5 wives, 3 illegitimate children, and has only 0.3 milliseconds a week to play a game, and he plays Diablo 4. This is unironically the reality of Diablo 4. The apathy has reached such a goddamn climax here. It is insanity, okay? It is just insanity. Diablo 4 is beyond meme tier. People are currently making videos about Diablo 4 being worse than Diablo 3, which theoretically is correct because Diablo 4 is just a failed Diablo 4 that then takes all the mechanics that Diablo 3 released in it and makes them into 4. Yeah. Initially, I was saying that it's a joke that Diablo 4 is Diablo 3.5, but at this point, it's just blatantly true. And by the way, this doesn't even account for the fucking bots. The amount of bots probably botting here is also insane. And it's really funny how well you can actually see these blimps in player numbers for Sundays and Saturdays. Man, that is crazy. That is literally crazy. But in any case, Path of Exile is doing fine. The moment the new class releases, I'm assuming that we're gonna see like 200k peak back, and it's fine. Again, a game having 10%, only 10% retention from its peak player pace numbers, is not the worst. Especially when we're counting that this is 3 months of effectively 0 real updates that would get people back into the game. And this is probably gonna keep going down. If there are no updates, I would say that this is probably stopping at around at 30-ish K. You know, in 2 months or so to speak, maybe. Who honestly knows, right? But Path of Exile 2 is not even remotely close to that. Anyone who's saying that just does not understand anything, it seems like. But that's normal if you're a Diablo 4 super fan who only plays Diablo 4. Again, if Last Epoch is not dead and it has 0.1% player attention, not kidding, this is 0.5. Actually, wait. I'm being generous here. 1.4k. 0.43. 0.43% player retention. If Last Epoch has that low of a retention and it's still not dead and it's actually fine and they're slowly pumping out content, you know that Path of Exile 2 is not nearly dead. Again, the deadest game here is unironically Diablo 4 because this shit literally got bought by 20 million people or something? Yeah, or more or something. This was Blizzard's fastest selling game ever. And now it has a measly, if we are being generous and saying that only Steam holds only 10% of the total player base. I mean, the fact that the Diablo 4 currently maybe has 100k people playing and it sold 1 billion trillion copies, that is Last Epoch numbers of bad, okay? This is why I wanted to look on all 3 of these games, because Hey, BS is BS, boys. Anyway, but that being said, Path of Exile 2, still going strong, still doing good, even though the graph does kind of look bad. But whatever. Bye.